G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. Today I'm going to do in acrylic for you beginners here, just on a small canvas panel. We'll have a go at the northern lights, alright? You know those greeny, colourful lights up in the northern hemisphere? Well, I thought we'll give that a go, but in acrylics, so we'll see how we can go in acrylics. And I'm going to get some of the retarder, the extender, to make things happen here, alright? So we've just got the size of the little canvas panel there while we get things going. And I'll also get some colours running up the screen there for you so you can pause it and write them down so you know what to get ready for at the beginning when you want to paint along with me, alright? Alrighty, so I've done a little picture here, something sort of scribbled out. I don't know how to do it, but I've made some kind of layout, so come on over here and we'll get started, alright? Okay, on my palette here I've got the clear extender medium retarder, and I'm going to just prime up my canvas panel. So I did a rough layout of the mountains there, but I'm just doing where I want the actual Aurora to be, and probably down the bottom we're going to have some reflections in water. So there, because that's pretty much my layout for the land mass and the mountains. I think they're normally in mountains there. We don't have nothing like this in Australia, as you all probably know. But anyway, this is a reclaimed canvas I'm using as well, you could probably see. Now, we've got that there like that. I'll just wipe that brush. Now, I'm going to use a smaller fan brush. I've got yellow green out of the tube here, just mixing that with some of the retarder as well. I might just go for yellow green. It's a bit of yellow and a bit of green. You can buy this in a tube already mixed called yellow green. I've got forest green there as well, but I think it might be too dark. Give this a go. Now, I'm not going to do your general lines and curtains of it. I'm going to do it. I did go on Google and look at some layouts of Auroras, Southern Lights, to get a gist of how they go, and some of them kind of span out and display out and disperse. So if anything, this is coming at us. That's what I'm trying to create here, if anything, and hopefully this is going to work. Now, it is acrylics. The oils work a lot different than acrylics, and you can see this. Doesn't matter if you can see it. There may be something just coming out over here. Okay, there we go. And now where my water is, I want something in there as well. Just like that. That'll do. So I've cleaned my fan brush and I've got titanium white out of the tube. Beautiful titanium white. It's not the craft paint, the soft bodied flow paint. And I do not have any extender / retarder in this paint. It's just neat from the tube, okay? And it's acrylic. It's going to behave different than the oils do. Now, you've all seen me in previous videos do mist in my sky. That's what we're going to do here, but the mist is going to pick up all that yellow green. So I suppose I'll do the bottom bit first just to see what it's going to look like. So we're stamping on, and look at that, it's getting the yellow and the green within there. We're stamping this in, creating the body. Look at that, nice and bright. Now grab yourself a blending brush. I've got a small one here, and I want to kind of, well, virtually, we need a rag, a cloth, something, and I want to disperse this, manipulate it into all that retarder on the surface, just as a bit. As a bit, I'm just sort of it's displaying it out like that, right? Because I'm going to do something else. All right, so we've got the body, the turmoil, the everything happening there. Okay, because this is the water. Now I'm going to use my pull down brush, and I just want to pull that down now, okay? And we should get some There we go. We've got water reflection lines within this bottom surface. The top's going to be different to this. There we go. That's it. Now that looks a bit white there. If it is at the end of the painting, I will add some green there. Okay, I've cleaned that fan brush and I'm picking up the titanium white again so we can do the top area now. So we're going to get this, we don't want it too white now, so I've learnt from the bottom, I'm stabbing this through the green and getting it blissfully distributed throughout our night sky there. Looking good. Pick up some more white. And this is pretty much a displacement of all the auroran lights there in the night sky. Now grab your blending brush again and something to constantly wipe it. And I want to create all that misty light turmoil now within that sky. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to wipe it. It's picking up paint. That's how you can control your blending. You wipe it as you go. Get something going up. Look at all that twisty action happening within our aurora there. What do you call it? The northern lights. Now we'll do these ones here as well. So the brush is creating everything to happen here, the flat surface of the brush. And like I said, if it's too bright, too yellowy green, because it is a yellow green I use, add some more green to it. I'll show you how you would do that. I did do a bit down the bottom there, I added some off camera. Okay, so like I said, if you think it's too bright, I'm just cleaning that brush. You can hear me clean it there. I'm picking up some more of the yellow green and I've just stabbed a little bit of forest green within it. Okay, we've got white on the board just to create maybe some darker areas. Let's just see what that's going to look like there first before we destroy it. Yeah, see, I put very little there and it's working fine. And that should do it. We've just got rid of a lot of that luster, bright glariness from it. It was a bit too lustery and glary, in my opinion. There we go, that's pretty much Aurora green looking colour, I suppose. Now what I'll do is I'll grab my brush. Let's hope that's not. And I'm going to, if anything, pull it upwards, just on an upward motion, just like that. And we've got our blurry coloured aurora in the sky. And that green that I added at the top, the bottom is a little bit too bright, so I'm just going to get the darker values in there a bit more as well, because that's our water there. Beautiful. All right, now we can dry that and get on with the rest of the painting. Okay, everything's dry. I'm grabbing a flat brush, just something I can shape in my mountain structure with. I'm using black gesso, and I've got one peak about there and another one just here. Okay, so we'll get the mountain blocked in, just coming down, so the aurora is coming from behind it. Is that it? Aurora, Southern Lights? Okay, there's our blocked in mountain. I'll come to roughly where the water line is going to be. There we go. And we'll just get that crisscrossed along there like that. That's roughly where the mountain is. Now this is going to be pretty much a snow-covered mountain. So I've got that black gessoed in there like that. All right, the mountain's dry. I've got a smaller knife because it's only a small mountain, so I'm going to just butter this flat onto my palette here like so. See what I've done there? Just butted it nice and flat like that. Then I'll wipe the knife so she's nice and clean. It's only a small knife, like I said. Tell you what, that edge looks a bit munted up, and I just want to pull it through. Get a ridge of paint on there, just so we can start hitting this mountain. I don't want it too. So as you know, I like to put a zigzag coming towards us, so I'll kind of create that with this knife if I can. That there, I don't like this knife, it's out of shape. This edge here is my zigzag line. Okay. Gives us the illusion that it's coming at us, the mount. Same on this side. Let's do something here if we can. Normally I do this with a brush, being acrylics. So let's create that zigzag line. Blend that there. Now before things happen, I'm picking up a scrumbling blending brush, something type of thing, and I want to get the bottom half of this a little bit blurry. Just the bottom bit. Okay. And the same over here. Because we're going to have some trees in the distance there. Now I've got the same paint, smallest bit of phthalo blue. Use a blue you're happy with. And I'm creating a dark side of the snow, I suppose, but it's night time, so it's all pretty much the one flavour. But I'm going to mix it up anyway. And get at least some kind of shadow side going within the mountain. See, my knife is all eroded away in that part there. I don't know how that happened. So I want to just kind of break this up on there. And we'll get a bit for the other side as well. And merge it into this colour here. Alright, now I'm going to grab that little scrumbling brush and blend that as well, just the bottom half, just so we got something there. That's a bit too much there. I'll pull that away and grab that brush so as I can, because we're going to have a row of trees, well not a row of trees, a displacement of trees along this area. Wipe that off. Okay. Okay, now I'm just grabbing some more white again, just to sit some of this blue back down, because it is quite a bit harsh. That's why I like doing mountains if I'm going to do a mountain with a brush, because I got more control with the acrylics. That's just my preference. But anyway, let me have a look in the monitor and see if that's looking like a reasonable night scene mountain. Now I've got a flat brush, and I want to, in the lay of the land, everything's a bit tacky, not quite dry, and I want to merge, scrumble just lightly those colours in the mountain. Now the same on this side. Trying to keep that zigzag line that I normally put at the front there, and I want to pull just to get rid of that big bright stampy look from the knife that I don't like. Now I'm showing you how to do this painting, but if you have a way to do your mountains a lot different to the way I'm doing it, by all means do it that way. I'm just showing you this way. It doesn't mean it's the only way you can do it. Now I'm picking up some more white again, just so we can scratch that into there like that. Okay, I'm going to give myself a flat brush and paint in the landmass around the lake, just using the titanium white, and I'm not worried if it picks up some of the blue within there. I don't want it pure white, I'm going to put some blue with it. There we go. And I can highlight this with pure white on top of this, okay? And I want, where did I go on my picture sort of thing? Somewhere along here. This is where the, maybe there, and it's going to come around there like that. So this is pretty much the snow. And you know what? It's very blue, isn't it, eh? Let's just paint it in there up to that misty line I put there. And I'm using this flat brush because I feel I can control it along the edge there. Get it up there. And all the way up here. This is going to be snow. Now I'm going to highlight some of this with the white, just so it's got different shades and depth in there once I map it on with this colour here. Alright, so pushing it right in. Before I highlight the snow, I want to put the row of trees out there. So now I've got a smaller flat brush and I've got some burnt umber here. Let's just grab some of that and some of the white just to lighten it a bit so we can see where it is. This fog is the top of the trees. Now this might be a little bit too bright, which I think it is. See there, it's a bit bright. So I'm just going to pick up some more, just with the hint of a tint in there. Chisel it on my brush, and I want to get the tops nice. There we go, look at that. I want some little trees up here. Keep them straight. Coming down. And there's some all the way up here coming down. This is just burnt umber, it's just a dark colour. And some coming here down. They're in the distance. This is just mainly highlighting the Aurora out there. All right, we've finished pretty much the layout of these trees here on the horizon line. Now we want to get some lighter colours just to shape them up a bit and act like snow on top of them as well, all right? So I've grabbed the white and tinted it with some of that burnt umber just to get the flavour I'm looking for. And see what I'm doing? I'm chiseling the edge of my brush now. So when I go up there, I can get what I want instead of just having big blobs hanging everywhere on the edge of my brush. Okay, and we'll try and put, finer you can get this, the better. And I'm just going to do this periodically all the way through these trees here. I've got a group here, so I'm going to use this to bring that group forward. See, I've got some of them higher and lower than the actual horizon line. Doesn't have to be an even pattern throughout the whole lot. Leave some of it dark, mainly the bottoms. So I've got a flat brush and I've got my snow. Now I want this in two pieces. Why? Just so we can get the littlest bit of the blue into this one. See, I'm using the already tinted white as the blue, not the full blue. Just here, see?
just so this is highlighting what's already on the board, and then that white can highlight this. And if anything, I want to kind of bring it down to the bank, and I want to kind of, let's stay over here, get under the trees there. I'm just sort of placing the tree bottoms there like this, and I'm going to start bringing this down. There we go. Leave some dark bits of blue there, mainly at the bank's edge there. Scrumble it where it's a bit too uniform. This paint is very dry on the brush. It's not a ton of it on here, okay? And I want to bring it just down. Now this is, you squint your eyes, this is where you play with it. Your artistic license kicks in and you start looking at it and governing the layout and the look of your painting from this point. This is where you're starting to use your inner artistic ability. See, now all this is coming from there, and if anything, jutting out there. And this is light enough but tinted enough so I can highlight it with pure white. You'll see 1, 2, this is the middle procedure of the 3 that I'm going to do with this snow. So if you've watched this video from the entirety before you start painting along with it, you'll understand why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, okay? Okay, so we've done that layer. Now see the bottom of the trees? I'm going to pick up some of the brown in my brush. I haven't cleaned it. And we want to kind of get some kind of shadow, get a bit more. I'm rubbing it on here just to temper my brush up a bit. Just so you're sitting it down into that snow. Get a bit more on there, Ian, don't be too shy. I want to sit them down. I'm using this flat brush and I'm pulling it through, and then the actual white that I highlight this snow with will bring everything home. Sometimes there's layers of dark shadow within the snow, I'm assuming, just like that. A little bit more here. Okay, I've done pretty much the shadow where I want. Now I'm grabbing it on the brush again, and where the blue snow colour is meeting the water, I'm adding some shadow along that bank as well, just pretty much around. It can be broken up, scrumbled up, scratchy, airy, like you see what I'm doing here. And then our white snow would lay over a lot of this and sit it back. Okay, but like I said, let's get this down here. The main hero in this painting is the Aurora, the Southern Lights. The Northern Lights, sorry. Northern Lights. So I'm creating the darkness along the edge of the bank. Just like so. Alright. Hopefully this is looking alright. If it ain't, I'm sure you'll tell me down below. Now it's ready to put the actual snow highlights on there. So we've pretty much got our land the way we wanted it, and the actual white now that I left on my palette is going to sit everything back the way we want. So I'm using the same brush and I'm picking up just the white now, just the white, shaping it onto the edge of my brush. And this is where we can sit back the trees along here. So we'll get the white, leave, you got the tree, you got the shadow, put some of this just in front of it, see? And then scoop it down. So you're creating that depth. Oh, that's too high. I got all shaky like I was nervous. So and then like I got at the bank here where the dark is, lucky I looked there. So here we go, we're getting it over that dark edge that I put on the thing there, on the bank there, and then this can all scallop back into the landmass here. This is just creating some kind of a beginner painting, but with some kind of aspects of wowness, realism, bullshit. Okay, so here we go. And you pretty much grasp why I'd done procedures earlier on to get this happening the way it's happening now. I've got to fix that up because I've gone and stuffed it. So I just cleaned that brush, got the burnt umber on it again, and I'm going to just do something like that, just to get rid of that big white blob. Something like that. Oh, I've just noticed this is wet and a little bit darker. I'm able to add some, I don't know if you can see that, beautiful depth. Okay, just to finish it off, I've got a small filbert. I'm getting some white on one side of it, and I'm just turning it over and getting some of the burnt umber on the other side, just because I want some stones and rocks here. So the white's at the top, and we're going to put some rocks here. I love these little things. We all end up with little favourite habits to put in our paintings. Get some more of the brown under there. Just a bank of stones or rocks or something right over here, just something to break it up. It's not too bad, it ain't the bloody best, but it'll do. Okay, let's go from scratch with a knife, a good undamaged knife. Spread it like butter. You got a nice film there. Wipe it, okay, and then put it on its edge and pull some paint in there, okay? Nice and thin. We want to control our lake. We want it to be very thin, and if for some reason they're thick, I'll put my flat brush on there and I will film it down. Now see my knife, that's handle straight, but that is off from straight. So don't get used to your handle there and get all these crooked. Make sure this edge is what's straight. And I want this just kissing the bank there with the dark separating it. Just like that. And I'm going to keep all these level. Now they are a bit too fat for my liking, but I'm sinking things down with it. Now see how I loaded it up? Good knife, good paint, a cloth too. I grab a stick, I grab a flat, and I've got it slightly damped, and we want to hit that down. Now it's building up a lot of paint, so I'm going to wipe it off there, wet the brush, wipe it a bit more, and we're going to turn those lines into like just a dull film of paint. There so happened to be a big chunk of paint right under there, and I'm using a flat brush because the flat brush can hit the edge of it nicely, and it's just killing it down a bit. More water. The water is like, if anything, washing it away. Just because it's a bit loud there. See, I've got my brush on my stick and it allows me to go along very straight. Oh, it dried up a bit. I had to do it pretty much straight away. But you can see what I mean. I'm just grabbing that small filbert brush because I'm looking at this edge and I'm not quite happy with it, so I'm grabbing some of the black gesso that's on my palette and I'm putting the dark edge there back, but I'm sort of tapering it and scrumbling it back into the landmass there, just so we've got some sense of depth on our bank there and a bit more bullshit realism, you know. It's kind of, there we go, some of it can trace back in there. And a bit of dark there. Darks and lights really need to be together, because if it's just all light, you might do a painting and you're thinking there's something wrong with it. It's just too much light colours. There's not enough darks to complement them. Get some darks in those rocks. Those rocks didn't turn out too good, did they? So I've got my small script liner with some white, and I just want to very gingerly twist, creating the edge of that bank with the water. Very subtle. Okay, there's so much more you can do with this, but we'll put a signature on it now and we'll whack a frame on it. Okay, whack a frame on there. There we go, a simple Aurora / Northern Lights in acrylic paint. We've just put a frame on it to see how it's going to look. And I've just gone for a mountain and a lake there. I don't know, I think up there, by going by all the pictures, they all pretty much got mountain scenery up there anyway. So there's our Northern Lights in acrylic. That's not too shabby, eh? Okay, and like I said, there's just so much more. We could have put a big tree here or like a cabin, but this is mainly about this Northern Lights there. I hope you liked this and had fun following along. And if you did, you make sure you tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody, all right? Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.